So I'm Coach Cox. I'm entering my 16th year of coaching. This entering my second year as the defensive coordinator at Dodge City Community College. Before that, I was at Southeast Missouri State University, and a lot of the films and the cut-ups that I'm going to show you is from my time at Southeast Missouri State. That we just had more film to pull from. So the teach tape that I'll go through is from SEMO. However, I'm at Dodge City. And let me share my screen here. So the two questions that I'm asked the most is, why do you run a bear? And then the next question is, how do you defend? And then fill in the blank. How do you defend dart? How do you defend zone? So this is what I'm going to cover tonight. A lot of people are curious about it. It may not be for you, but we'll go through it. The first thing we'll talk about is the defensive structure overall. And this is what we look like against a 2x2 double set. We're a base cover 4 team. This is our stock alignment. We feel, and I'll tell you why we run this defense. One, we feel we can control the box with only 5 run defenders. We try to keep this box from tackle to tackle as consistent as we can. We have some other fronts. We'll play some other fronts, but we want this look as often as we can with it. There's 2 B gap defenders, so there is no conflict defender in the B gap. There is no second level or third level defender that defends an interior gap. And why is that important? It's for RPO. It's trickier to RPO us because we don't have a 50-50 player. There's not a guy who needs to fall into the B gap, but also be a defender in the curl or the flat. So by doing that, we can limit RPOs. You can't eliminate them. There's ways to do it, but it can certainly cut down on it. We play with 2 overhangs. So we have double leverage, and this means 2 different things. One, we have leverage, meaning an overhang to each side as force players. In a 4-2-5, a lot of times you'll be leveraged. You'll have an overhang to the field, not necessarily to the boundary. 4-3 teams, depending on how you play, you can play with double leverage. Could put you 1 in the box. It all depends what you like to do. The second thing of double leverage is if they crack our force player, we can crack replace with the safety. So at all times, we should have 2 force players as overhangs, and if an offense takes one of them out, we should be able to crack replace with the safety and keep our leverage. That's what we talk about with double leverage. In our structure, we have 3/2 at all times, or as best we can. These 3 over these 2, so we have a number advantage on the perimeter. College football, the game is played on the perimeter. It's trickling down to high school. A lot of the game is played out on the edge. It's not in the box. So we want to have a numbers advantage on the perimeter. In our front structure, these 5, again, can help control the box and give us numbers as often as we can. And then we base out of cover 4. We base out of quarters, which handles 4 verticals concepts. College football and a lot of offenses now, they want 4 verticals. They're looking for a way to get to it out of some formation. Cover 4 handles that fairly well. So the number one question we're asked is, why the bear versus a 4-eye? So when we talk about bear, this is what we're talking about. 2-3 techniques, 3-0-3. A lot of teams will play double 4 eyes. You'll hear tight front. You'll hear mint front. That's the front that a lot of guys play. We're similar. We have 2 B gap defenders, but they're in 3s. We play heavy on the guards. We want our hands on the guards at all times, and we'll talk about the reasons why. We stack our backers with their nose on the shoulder of that guard. B4 alignment just means you're in the B gap at 4 yards. It's a 30 backer. We use that term interchangeably amongst the coaches, but we tell the kids B4, getting B gap at 4 yards. So why do we do it? One, being in a true bear, a 3-0-3 is unique for the offensive opponent. We sometimes joke about it's like playing a triple option offense. You don't see it every week. It does force you to change. Offenses will often have to alter or adjust their base concepts. You have to block it differently. Every offense, the first box is over, the second box is under, the next boxes are variations of those. Most of the time, a bear front is kind of low on the list. You'll see it some, but you don't see it a lot. The double 3 techniques, having those guys heavy on the guards, forces limited blocking schemes, which makes it great for us. We don't have to worry about teaching multiple blocking schemes and multiple concepts. You can really only handle a bear a certain number of ways, and that's what we teach the kids. It's easier on the kids. It's very difficult for the O-line to cleanly release to the second level and get to the linebackers. And the linebackers are very protected in this defense. Example, specifically, what do we mean? So the difference between a 3 and a 4-eye. In a 3, you cannot block the backside backer versus gap schemes. You have to attach a tight end on the ball to run against this defense consistently, is what we found. So here with a 4-eye, you'll still get a down block, and they'll figure out a way. Most of the time, this guard can get clean. The nose can handle, the center can handle the nose. The guard can either chip, give hand help, and find a way to the backside, and they can cut off a 4-eye much easier on the backside. A lot of teams, they pull the guards. That's the guy they want. They can still get the guard cleanly pulled. If you play 3-0-3, you're still going to get a down block on the front side. But because we're so heavy on the guard with our hands, he can't cleanly release to this backside backer. We're going to put our hands on him and force him down. They can't pull the guard, which is the guy they want to pull. He comes with 4 eyes. These two will have this backer. These two will have this backer, and they can cut off the 4-eye very easily. Most of the time, it's some type of a combo between the guard and the center to the backside. Same thing with the guard and the tackle front side. Some teams will fold it. They'll block out and fold this guy around. So there's a lot of different schemes that teams can use when you play a 4-eye. You can split zone a 4-eye, kind of like a wham block. When you stay heavy 3s, they have to double. This bottom box is what we see 90-95% of the time on blocking inside zone. They double the 3s, they single the nose. By doing that, you can't immediately climb to the linebacker. You're buying us time. The other way to do it is they'll just wash everybody down. They'll just full zone it and try to wash everybody or kick everybody, and that's just a different set of problems. Outside zone, so we talk inside zone, same thing for outside zone. You can't cut off the 3 as easily. So as this play is flowing, this guy wants to cut back. He can cut back to B gap. As all these guys are flowing and it's elephants on parade and he wants to stick his foot in the ground, he can wind up cutting back as a B gap defender. If you have the B gap covered, this offensive tackle can't just cut him off. He's really got to work for him. And if he can't get there, we may have penetration. But if he does get there, then we just move the ball one gap further on a cutback on outside zone. So for gap scheme, we like it because you can't cleanly release to the backside backer. Zone, we like it because you can't cut off a 3 as easily as a 4-eye. So big picture, that's why we like it. That's why we run it for those reasons. Now, specifically, I'm going to go through the install that we teach our inside backers because some people have a lot of questions. Okay, I get that. How do you defend certain runs? Let's talk about how we defend it. The first thing we teach our kids in our scheme with our inside backers is to key step. And this is one of the fundamentals that we use that I don't think a lot of defenses use it. And I'm not saying that makes us right, but it fits well with our scheme. We teach a different step. We don't teach 6-inch read step. We don't teach run downhill. We tell them, if you imagine a line, they stay on the line and they key step. They stay on the level. We don't want them running downhill. We don't want them just taking off. Stay on the level. You have 900 pounds in front of you protecting you. You've got time to make a read. So with the key step, we teach them to get a wider base than normal, much like a tennis stance. So in tennis, you have to defend a serve coming 150 miles an hour. You have to be able to move any direction, left, right, forward, back, angle. And so this is the stance we use, kind of a tennis stance. It's wider than normal. You have a lean. And we tell them for the key step, have energy in your feet. You're not hopping. You're not alternating your feet. Some people I've heard say, hey, just buzz your feet. You still want your cleats in the grass. You want energy in your feet. And we tell them, just be patient until your responsibility is clear. We tell them, play fast, but don't be in a hurry. You've got time to read. This is an example of what we talk about when we teach a key step. Watch number 5. All we're looking at is number 5's feet. This is all we want to see. This is an example of a key step. Energy in his feet. His feet are wide. He has a good base. All we want is the footwork. He's not crossing over. He's not freaking out. Key step. have a base, have some energy, be square. You don't need to run downhill like a Dothraki warrior screaming. That's what the offense wants. They want to move you. Again, watch 5. All we're looking at is his footwork. Key step, patience. Key step, what's the read? Key step, where is the ball going? The ball's not declared. You shouldn't be going anywhere. So just looking at his footwork, that's an example of a key step. And we work this every day. Here, 33. 33's base. Again, wider than normal. That's okay. A lot of guys teach linebacker stances like they're squatting. They have too much weight on their heels. And when they do that, they split step or false step. Don't step backwards to go forwards. We want them right here. Light, energy in your feet. Key step. Look at 33's feet. Key step. Takes a lot to do. Takes a lot to get kids to this level. You have to do it every day, and emphasize it. And if you just forget and think, oh, they've got it, a couple of days later, they'll go back to bad habits. They'll go back to the years they've had. So that's the first thing we teach the inside backers is a key step because it holds their water. Now, specifically for the run fit. So again, bear, this is what we mean when we talk about bear. 2-3 techniques in a 0. Outside shoulder of the guard, heavy on the guard. The inside backers are at B4. They put their nose on the shoulder of the guard. We put their toes at 4. We say toes versus heels. It's just easier for the kids to look at their feet. They kind of know where their toes are. It's quicker to do. We tell them, put your nose on the shoulder of the guard. B4, just a 30 backer. This is what they're looking at. This is their eye progression. We tell them to read the tandem. This is the tandem. The space in between these two people is where they're looking at. That's their tandem. Oops, froze up a little. We tell them to read your tandem to the back. You read 1 to 2. We do this so we don't miss pullers as often. I've done it where you have eyes on the back and you have to see the action and the flow in front of you. A lot of kids can look at a back, but they can't see the action in front of them. They miss pullers. They miss subtleties. Again, the front protects you when you run 303. You can key what these two guys are doing. Are they coming together? Is it full zone? Is it some type of a pull? Look 1 to 2, the initial block to where the ball is going, and then you can make your decision on how you fit and where you go. Again, for us, we have 900 pounds sitting here. No one is coming to block you. You don't need to feel nervous, and it takes kids a while to get it. Our base fits. When we talk about our bear fits with our kids, our base fits is open A, cut back C. That is your responsibility until there's only 2 things that take you off of those fits. And those will be later on. But this is your base fit. Open A, cut back C. What does that mean? Here it is. Your fit is based on the offset running back. What we tell them is if the back's away, I'm open A. If the back is to me, I'm cut back C. Didn't mean it to rhyme, but that's just how it worked out. So this is the pre-snap. We line up, there's an offset back. Right now, we know what our base run fits are going to be. If there's a run and I have an open A gap, we're going to hit it. Most of the time, 90+% of the time, it's front side A. Rarely is it backside A, just because most people are going to try to cut the nose off, inside zone, outside zone. We don't see a lot of guys trying to back block this guy and come downhill. If he did, we would still take the open A gap. Open A, and then if the back's to me, I'm cut back C. When they're running zone, and this guy wants to jump cut, he's going to jump cut to this guy. He doesn't need to go anywhere. He's got B gap covered. He's got 2 A gaps covered. He can track the ball and be patient, and if it cuts back to him. If they tick the back, meaning if they move him, here he is pre-snap, then he jumps over here, just changes to the second box below. Now I'm open A and I'm cut back C. That's all it is. So the run fits don't change based on the offset back. Open A, cut back C. This is pictures of how it fits just against zone read, which is the top concept we see inside zone. Again, this is how most teams block it against us. They double the 3 and single the nose, and this is how it fits. They're running it to a tight end. It doesn't matter. I'm open A, I'm cut back C. If you go to box C, the tight end of the back are on the same side. He's running to the open end. Your fits don't change. I'm looking for open A. most likely front side A, and then I'm still a cutback C player. The C gap is more defined with the tight end sitting there, but it's still the C gap. So it doesn't matter if there's a tight end to you or away, take him out of the equation. You're fitting open A and cutback C. So examples of it. 51's the open A player. 5's the cutback C player, based off the back. The back's away, I'm open A. The back's to me, I'm cutback C. I'm just going to run it. 51 fits A gap, goes cutback right to 5. Right now, he's looking for open A. Here's the A gap. He's taking it. He's holding his water, key stepping. If it cuts back or washes, it cuts back right to 5. Base fits based off the offset back. Open A, cut back C. That's all the inside backers are worried about. They're not worried about who's force. They're not worried about any of that. They just run their fits. Open A, cut back C, based off the back. The film's a little wide, but this is one of the better open A reps you're going to get because it triggers immediately. See the window, fill the window. So the backer to the left is open A. The backer to the right is cut back C. At the snap of the ball, what do? They double, they single the nose, and here comes open A. There's nobody to block him. If he reads it correctly and triggers correctly, it's a TFL, or at least a 0 gain. Open A, there it is. Go get it. It should look like a blitz, and that's why this is one of the best reps. He saw it open, and he attacked. Open A. The cutback C defender, he's patient. If this guy decided, oh shit, here he comes, and wants to cut it back, we have a cutback C defender. He's doing a good job. He's not freaking out. He's not running somewhere. He's key stepping and following his reads. Great rep here. Open A. See the window, fill the window. Beats the guard before they can combo off of it. Now you have a tight end attached. Does not change the read. It's based off the back. Back's away, I'm open A. Back's to me, I'm cut back C. Build the wall. Right here, 51's going A. 5 is key stepping for cutback. If he jump cuts right to 5. If he goes front side to front side C, there's the DB. Just do your part. A gap, C gap. If he pushes front side, we have somebody for that. We've built the wall. Here's your B gap player. A, B. This guy's C. This guy's C. Let him run into it. If you fit it correctly, they should have nowhere to go. If is always the key word. If you can do it correctly, they should have nowhere to go. And that's true of any scheme. Here it is. The back is to the same side of the tight end. Here's my C gap right here. So open A, backs away, backs to me, I'm cut back C. Watch 51. 51 squeezes himself into C gap. That's his gap. If it cuts back further to D gap, we have somebody for it. The guy making the tackle. But he has to fit C gap. He can't presume, oh, I can't get through there. I'm just going to go here, because then the back's going to cut it right through C. Fit your gap. Open A, cut back C. Doesn't matter where the tight end is. Just run your fit. Open A, cut back C. If it bounces a gap behind you, we have a safety and an outside backer in this particular set to handle it. So that's a good job. Squeeze yourself into C gap. What if there is no open A gap? What if it's cluttered? What if there's a blocking scheme or the nose gets washed into it? Don't go into the gap. We tell them cloudy clear. If there is no open A, don't just run down into a pile. Stay on the level, stay key stepping, and fall back to the ball. Watch 19. 19's your open A player. A gap is gone. He stays on the level and then falls back to the football. 19, open A player. Key step, fall back to the ball. Don't just bury yourself down into the jungle. Don't just run into that mess. If it's cloudy, don't go. There is no window. Don't just run down in here looking for an A gap. 6 is cut back C. He's doing a great job. 19's feet are right on that line. Then he can fall back to the football. It's a question a lot of people ask. What if there is no opening? Then just stay on the level and fall back to the ball. Don't run down into the jungle where you're going to get picked off or caught in the trash. What if it's pistol? So our base fits are based on the offset running back. What if there is no offset running back?